welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing the mid-year book tag. I love this idea just because I think it's a great way to recap where you are currently in the year and what goals you want to get to, what books you want to get to by the end of the year. So as a general basis to start out, my total books read so far for 2025, I've read 53 out of my original goal, which has been 80. I think I'm going to still leave my goal for the year at 80. I definitely think I'm going to surpass it. Goodreads currently says I'm like, I think 14 books ahead of schedule, which I'm not mad about because this will be the first year in I think a few years that I've actually hit my Goodreads goal. So I think mentally I'm aiming for at least 100, but I'm going to leave my actual physical Goodreads goal at 80 and we'll just see what happens. What I get to past 80, I am so happy with. So the way I'm going to be answering some of these questions is, for a lot of them, I'm probably going to give answers for multiple genres just because I have become so vast in my reading this year. I've read literary fiction, what else have I read? I've read fantasy, romance. I don't think I've really read sci-fi that much, but long story short, I've read a lot, so I'm going to name some honorable mentions and I'm going to mention some books from different genres. So just bear with me, there's going to be a little bit all over the place. So for the first question, which is best books in 2025, my honorable mentions go to Daydream by Hannah Grace. This was the first book that I read this year and I absolutely loved it. Henry and Hallie were not only just such a cute couple, but as individuals, I loved reading about them and I feel like I could read about them literally doing anything, and this book I still think about all the time. And then an honorable mention for fantasy, I have Quicksilver by Kelly Hart. Technically it's for fantasy, but you know, we're gonna add it in here. This was another one that I read at the beginning of the year and I absolutely loved it. I still think about this all the time and I'm so excited for the sequel to this that comes out later this year. Okay, and for my top 3 books that I've read so far this year, we have Beartown by Frederick Bachman, which I read a few months ago and I absolutely loved it. This was one of my first, if not my first, literary fiction book that I've ever read, and I loved the way that Frederick Bachman writes his stories. This is now not the only book that I've read by him, and I could definitely see him being one of my favorite authors. My favorite romance book that I've read so far this year is Caught Up by Liz Humford. If you've been watching me for a little bit, there is no way that this book could not be in this spot. I absolutely adored Kai Ann Miller, and this story just, I cannot stop thinking about these two characters. Really this whole series, but Kai and Miller take the cake for me. And then lastly, for fantasy, we have The Book of Azrael by Amber V. Nicole. This is another one that I have not stopped thinking about since I read it, and you can just tell from my tabs that I was absolutely obsessed with this book. I have put off reading the sequel just a little bit because I know book 4 doesn't come out until later this year. And I'm so scared that there's going to be very big, not fun cliffhangers throughout these books. So I am waiting a little bit to read books 2 and 3 until closer to the release date of book 4. But I absolutely adore this book and I could definitely see this being one of my top favorite series ever. For best sequels, I quite literally just have romance books in this category, but all of them definitely need to be mentioned. So far this year, I've read the first 2 books in the Boys of Tommen series, so Keeping 13 had to be on here. This book absolutely broke me. When I tell you, I was hurt from the first one, but this one tore me to shreds. I feel like Chloe Walsh just makes it so easy to fall in love with the characters. Not that they're without flaws, but Truly by Abby Jimenez. I love the way Abby Jimenez writes her stories, and specifically her characters just feel so deep. And I love the anxiety representation that we got through Jacob in this story, as well as the Latin representation in our main character, Brianna. And then lastly, because I did not want to repeat Caught Up, I'm going to give Best Sequel in the Windy City series to Play Along, which I actually just recently read. I think it was about like a week or 2 ago. I did finish it in the month of June and I absolutely loved it. Did I love it more than Caught Up? No. But it was very, very, very close. I think I technically gave it 4.75 stars on Goodreads. Regardless, this whole series is phenomenal. If I was not being picky with 5 stars, the series as a whole, let me just say the series as a whole is 6 stars. So if you haven't picked this up, definitely go do that. New releases that I want to get to this year, I'm only going to be showing books that are on my physical TBR because, as you guys know, I'm currently on a book buying ban. But new releases that I've already purchased, we have Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez, Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab, which is a toxic sapphic vampire romance. I don't know why that was so hard for me to say, but also this edition is so stunning. And then another special edition that I was very happy to get my hands on in Barnes & Noble's is The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig, and this cover is nothing short of stunning. Next question is most anticipated release for the second half of the year, and that book for me could go to nothing else but Brimstone. I am so excited to see where Kelly Hart takes this story, and I just want to be back with these characters. So I'm going to have to say Brimstone, and I'm very curious. I believe they're going to be releasing it in hardcover, and my OCD is not okay with that, but considering we have the paperback, I have a feeling I will be purchasing the hardcover, and my shelves will indeed be crying about it. So for the next prompt, it's your biggest surprise, and I'm going to name 2 happy surprises and 2 not so happy surprises. So I was super surprised to end up loving Twisted Hate by Anna Huang. The first book, when I originally read it, I loved it. Over time, I just kind of forgot about it, and I recently read Twisted Games, which I gave about 3 stars. I think 3.5 stars, and then Twisted Hate, which I loved. I gave 4 stars, but I have literally not stopped thinking about this couple, and I'm so excited to read Twisted Lies from the little snippet that we got of them in this book. So yeah, this was a super happy surprise for me, and I'm so excited to read the last book in this series. I was also really happy to end up loving The Sweetest Oblivion by Danielle Laurie. I was so scared that I was going to hate this, given that I bought the whole trilogy in one go. And I was not the biggest fan of mafia romance previous to this book, but I did love it, and I also really liked the second book. For some not so happy surprises, I did read The Hurricane Wars by Thea, I don't even know how to say her last name, Guazan. And I thought I was going to love this book. It seemed right up my alley, and it was just not for me. The romance didn't feel believable. I didn't connect to the characters. So that is all I'm going to say on this one. And then we also have No Gods for Drowning, which is a sapphic fantasy sci-fi kind of horror-esque book. But I quite literally DNF'd this at 40%. Again, another one that I thought I was gonna love, so I was super sad to end up not liking this one. The next question is favorite author slash debut slash new to you, and this could go to nothing else but Liz Tumford. She is definitely going to be an auto-buy author for me going forward. I love these books so much. I could see myself rereading them within the next couple of years, which is really saying something because I don't allow myself to reread books often, but I adored these books so much, and I'm definitely savoring Rewind It Back. I don't even want to imagine how much it's going to destroy me, literally just to start it, knowing that it's going to be the end. But yes, I can definitely say that Liz Tumford is a new favorite author of mine. And for newest fictional crush, which is the next question, can go to nobody else but Kai Rhodes. I love this man so much. I just picture Superman. Is it Superman? I picture Clark Kent. That is who I picture as Kai Rhodes, but a baseball player, and he's a single dad, and I don't think you could ask for anything else. Okay, for the next prompt, which is books that made me cry, I'm not even gonna say anything. I'm just gonna show you because some of them are not spoilery, but some of the reasons why I cried are spoilery. So we have Caught Up by Liz Tumford, Fear Town by Frederick Bachman, The Book of Azrael, once again, The Honey Witch by Cindy J. Shields. The next prompt is books that made you happy. So we have Play Along by Liz Tumford. I feel like Isaiah could not make anybody happy. He's just a goofy guy. And then Daydream, I was literally smiling and giggling throughout this whole book. These characters are so lighthearted, and I had such a good time reading this. And then I do not have a physical copy of the last one, but Out on a Limb by Hannah Budham Young. I loved that book so much. Again, just giggling the entire time. And I will continue to say that if you do not like the pregnancy trope, still give that book a go. The next question is the most beautiful books that you bought in 2025. And I have The Night and the Moth, the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, which I am absolutely obsessed with. And these sprayed edges are just stunning. And then a regular edition, we have Sail Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. The color pattern on this book is just so beautiful in my opinion, and I literally cannot get enough of this. The next question is a book that you absolutely need to read by the end of the year, and I cannot go another year without reading The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. This has been on my need to read list, I think for the past like 2 years. I don't know, but I need to stop putting this book off. There's literally no excuse at this point. I just need to pick it up and read it. Next question is, how many 5 stars have you had this year? And so far I've had 14 5 stars. Out of 53, I feel like that is a pretty darn good amount. Okay, the next question is, name a book that you want to reread in 2025. And why I want to do this to myself, I don't know, but I want to reread Kingdom of Ash. I'm still debating whether I want to start from book 1 and reread the entire series, or if I just want to reread Kingdom of Ash, but this book brought me so much pain, but at the same time, it's home. It's home. I've been reading this series since I was like 18. I've taken breaks from it, and I just need to be back with these characters. I don't know. I'm still debating whether I just start from the beginning again to have that time. But do I want to commit to rereading, I think 8 books this year? I don't know. We'll see. But at the very minimum, I definitely want to reread Kingdom of Ash. A book you enjoyed with mixed reviews. I just finished Women Eating. I'm currently doing the Summer Ween readathon, and I really like this. I gave it 4.5 stars. I thought it was so different and the writing was so well done. And if you like literary fiction / a mixture of horror, definitely pick this one up. And lastly, for 5-star predictions for the rest of the year, we have Slewfoot by Broom. I have wanted to read this so bad for like, I think 2 or 3 years. So I definitely think that this has the capability to be a 5-star for me. And then we also have Barrier Bones and the Midnight Soil. Everything about this book to me screams 5 stars. So this is definitely going to be a shocker if it's anything below 5 stars. And then the last book I don't physically own yet because I have yet to get my hands on the cover I want, but I also am pretty positive that Rewind It Back is going to be 5 stars for me. So as always, if you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and hit that subscribe button. And what are some of your answers to these questions? So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!